What's going on, y'all?
Say something like that.
I can't smile, damn, Jay. You instantly go in. What's wrong with me smiling?
There's nothing. You got a nice smile.
Thank you. You
A
do
nice
too.
smile.
I
Yes.
appreciate you. You do too.
Yes.
Yeah. How you feeling today?
I'm great. I'm great. I feel like this week been going by super fast. I don't know if you feel like that too, but I've been feeling like this
Super,
week went by quick.
super, super duper fast.
hmm How was your weekend?
Under the circumstances, my weekend was cool. Got to kick it
hmm
with all my siblings. It's always good. It's always nice when we get together. So, just like I said, I wish it was just better under better circumstances, but it was cool.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Family time is always good though.
What about you?
I relax. You know what? I've been inside. I know I had a streak where I was like outside a lot, but like I really been inside these last few weekends trying to, reset and get ready for this new year, set my intentions, write my goals down, all that good stuff. So I just had a relaxing weekend at home. And I went to Target. Target got all my money, but that's a whole nother story.
What's wrong with a relaxing weekend? You know what I
There's
mean?
nothing wrong with a relaxing weekend. I just be feeling like I don't know if you feel like this, but I know for me, like if I'm working and then I'm like full work mode, and then once I finally relax, I be feeling like I'm not like if I'm relaxing, something I'm missing out on something, or I'm not like I don't know. I don't know how to find that balance sometimes between like work and just sitting down.
Between work and just relaxing.
Yeah. Because I always feel like there's something that I should be doing. Like if I'm not doing something, there's somebody out there working right now. So I need to be working too.
Well, cause speak as from the chair that I sit in, it's definitely always some work you can be doing. So
I did do I did do some work actually this weekend, but yeah, I don't know
that-
if I be feeling like, I don't know. I did relax though. Most of the weekend I relaxed.
nah, I get it. I definitely get it. For me, for me, work is like I want to say like my safe space.
Mm.
Because I like when I'm curating, not when I'm stressed out, but when I'm curating something, I'm working on something. That's the time when I'm like, it's a safe space, my mind clear. You know what I mean? Oftentimes, I don't want to be bothered by nobody, but
Mhm.
so I like quote unquote work because the work I do is not like it's
Yeah,
fun.
there's like no it's fun, you enjoy it. I think somebody just they're like they recently told me like when you love what you do, it don't feel like work. And
Mm.
that's true, but I think for creatives, I know for me specifically, like there's sometimes where I get in these headspaces where I can't create. And it's hard for me to push past that because I don't want to ever do something like me as a creative. I like to do stuff that when my heart is in it, because if my heart is not in it, I feel like it comes out half done.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, I get that 100%. I think right now I'm at a space where I'll be wishing that I can just have a week where I don't have to do nothing else but what I
Mhm.
want to focus on.
Mm. Like you don't want the obligation that comes because I think that's hard too when you're juggling so many different hats. Like especially working in the fields that we work in, a lot of the times we're not just doing one thing. We're
Mm.
working on other things. We have multiple streams of income, so we're working on those projects. For me, I got kids. Like it's so many different hats that we wear in these spaces that a lot of the times we'll be doing something and we got to stop what we're doing because we got to tend to something else. And yeah, structure is very important, especially in this.
It's definitely true. But let's get into the show. For y'all at home, I appreciate y'all patience for waiting. You know what I mean? We starting a little late. That's on me, But we still gonna make sure we get y'all a good show. So, Jay, what we gonna start at today? You wanna start with the Kiki Palmer?
You look, my girl Kiki is going through it, and I want to be his behind. I'm just saying, like, if the video came out of his mom or her mom going in on him. Have you watched it yet?
Have I watched it yet? No, I haven't.
Okay, so the video is she pretty much cursing him out, telling him about himself. And I was a proud mom watching that because I'm telling you, being a mom, you will go to war for your kids. And I feel like she really like exuded that in that conversation. She let him have it. But I also feel like Kiki, on the other hand, she answered things very logically when they were having that conversation with the mama and the boyfriend. She was very, you know, very calm. But I'm feeling for her because I know it's rough going through an abusive relationship. Um, and
Mm.
so, yeah, just dealing with that psychologically. She just had a baby. Like, people don't understand. I feel like a lot of the times people don't understand what us women go through when we have children and how it affects our psyche. And then bringing in an abusive man, whether he's physical or mental or both, is the worst. It just puts you in this really bad headspace. So I'm really praying for her because that's a lot to deal with mentally.
Nah, so I don't really know too much about this situation. I've seen a few videos. I've been seeing a few like recordings. I guess her mom, somebody recorded them on the phone. Her
Yeah.
mom was bugging up on him, saying some things about him that was hurtful, saying some things about Usher that was hurtful. Um, and also this all can be feedback from the things that he did to her that was hurtful.
Mhm.
I think it's a crazy situation all the way around, but to take it off them, um, I've never been in an abusive relationship before, so I can't speak from experience, but I think that shit has to be tough to be going like I would never have thought somebody at Kiki Palmer is that magnitude was going through something like that. Like she did a good job of masking it. So like I guess when I was sharing too much details, like do you have any experience dealing with things like this?
Yeah, I was very young when this happened, but I was in a very toxic relationship growing up. And when I tell you, anyone who knows me personally, I'm a very strong, independent person. I feel like I have a very good head on my shoulders. I'm very smart. But when you're in those positions where you're in a relationship that is filled with domestic or mental abuse, it is very much a situation where you really have to pull yourself out. And it takes a lot to pull yourself out because you are constantly fighting your mind and your heart because your heart wants to be with this person and you love this person. And obviously there's other factors that go into it mentally and spiritually, but then you're fighting your logic because you're like, this isn't even who I am. Like, how can I, how could I have put myself? And then the blame you shift the blame on yourself because you feel like, how could I have put myself in this position to allow someone to treat me this way? And so it's definitely very hard, and let's take out maybe domestic violence, but even just when you're in a relationship with someone and you just have a baby and then y'all break up, there's that pain because it's like, not being able to provide a family to your child. There's so many factors and so many layers to this situation where I feel for her, and regardless of if she maybe did something to poke the bear or not, the reality of, because I see that a lot, is a lot of times, we were talking about last week about accountability, but a lot of the times in these situations you are not even in your right mental space to say, oh, I'm holding myself accountable for being in this situation or putting myself in, or consistently putting myself in this situation, because you're just not there mentally. I see you looking. What's your thought on that?
My thing is, if you're gonna say that, right? So when you say let's say she's not there mentally, right? She's
Mhm.
poking the bear, so mentally she ain't there. She going through it, right? Um, what's to say? So he puts his hands on her. As a result, she poked the bear, do something, put her hands on him, whatever to start it, right? If he hits her back, if we're going to use the if we're going to use the analogy of not being mentally there, what's to say he wasn't mentally there to have the
So he didn't just have a baby.
to have accountability, to do restraint, to understand what you're doing? Because that's what you just said, used for her, right? And they both human beings. So if he's not, it has the right in his right mind, or he can't be hold himself accountable because he's not in his right mind. So he indulged if in domestic violence or physical altercations with her. Like then you enter that gray area, right? That space
There
we
is
don't
a
want to
gray
be.
area. There is, but from my personal experience, I can only speak from my personal experience. It was never a matter of if a man cannot control his actions based off of a woman saying something to him, then that's a problem. And it still is gonna go back to him. I could tell you all day something, but if you don't believe it about yourself, or if you are strong enough to walk away, then you need to do that. But I think in this situation, for instance, whether she said, there's nothing in this world that a woman could say that could make a man, that should make a man put his hands on her. One. Two, so you feel like a man can't emotionally hold withdraw himself and say, okay, let me remove myself from this situation.
I feel like that is wrong to put your hands on anybody, right?
No, I'm not talking
I'm
about
not.
putting my
I'm not.
hands.
I'm saying that it's wrong, right? And we know it's wrong. So I just want to make sure we put that disclosure and
Yeah,
disclaimer out there. But I'm also saying that it's always like, and I had this debate with Cindy a lot, because Cindy like to come from, she likes to come from a textbook logical like standpoint all the time. And it's like, yo, you have to have real when you text logic go out the window when you add reality and real life shit in the equation,
of
right?
course, of course.
Um, and this is something I want to speak on too. I want to add. It's gonna go down a rabbit hole of a question I had spoke. Me and my brother were debating over the weekend. But my thing is, in the reality of a situation, we don't know people's mental state. We don't know what happened to somebody could be going through that day. We don't even know what type of trauma some of those words can bring up on somebody. So, and logically speaking, we can say, you know what, calling somebody this or saying somebody this is like, that's basic stuff. You're supposed to get over that. Like, you're supposed to be like, man, uh, cool, whatever. That's words. But realistically speaking, yo, like, you could have said something that triggered somebody mental or trauma that they got in the past that you know nothing about, that you just did, and their reaction is their reaction based off, you know what I'm saying, certain things. So I think now that we in a space in 2023 where we're kind of really breaking down everything and having
Yeah,
those conversations of
yeah,
mental health and trauma and thing that goes on, we can't make statements of things of being black and white, and we're breaking down the situation. Now we're talking about our personal feelings of something, then we can be like, yeah, I don't, that shit was wrong. Like, how it ever played out, it shit was wrong and that shit ain't cool. But if we want to actually break down situations, they're not gonna be black and white no more, because we putting all these things everything's in the forefront now. So it's
yeah. I
different
get
then.
it, but I just feel like this goes back to, at the end of the day, a man is more powerful in built than a woman. Not only that, but we have seen a certain pattern with him. Let's talk about the pattern. If we're specifically speaking to this situation, let's talk about the pattern. Let's talk about the control that he had with when it came to the Usher situation. There's another video of him pretty much like, I what I felt like was like downing her, or she was excited about her birthday and he pretty much was like trying to humble her. And so I feel like in those situations, he's kind of showed his himself in those situations. And it's not all I'm saying is that as women, we see the signs, and it's not surprising that this is what's going on.
Yeah, I think it really is. I think it's definitely fucked up. Anytime somebody is physical harm done to someone, I think it's just a fucked up situation all the way around. And then there was signs of that bleeding up to it. I definitely think like they should just leave that shit alone. And I wish you would like kids involved. It's just fucked up. I don't even want to get into
It's very
but
hard because,
I seen a lot of domestic violence growing up as a kid.
yeah,
I ain't that
so did
ain't
I.
I don't fuck
It's
with it.
hard. It on both sides of the coins. You look at one side and it's like, okay, why didn't she leave? She saw the signs beforehand. You look at the other side of the coin and it's like, well, he's a man. He should be able to control himself in certain situations. But at the end of the day, I also feel like, um, it goes back to what we were talking about when you unpeel those layers of things that have happened to people and their own experiences, their own triggers, and a lot of the times, We all need therapy before we get into relationships with people because sometimes you just don't know.
And I want to say we not. He is a man. I want to just say he's a human. He's a
Okay.
human being, and he should be able to control himself. Because like this, we also putting these saying like certain people, you a man, you supposed to control yourself. Like nah, as a human being, no matter man or woman, you should be able to control yourself in any situation. Because even if there was another man that did something to him to trigger him, and he did something that you triggering, you letting somebody trigger you and trigger you out of your position can allow yourself to do something stupid and now you in prison. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Because as a human being, you got to be able to just to control your actions. You know what I'm saying? Especially like how you said as an adult, like Cindy just commented, like you should be able to control yourself. So that's all the way around. But you know, thoughts and prayers to everybody involved, especially the kids. You know, we're gonna go to another situation that got a little heated between men this time. Funny Marco, Chris Brown, G Herbo, whole little internet debacle. Jay, you want to give us some background on what happened?
So as y'all know, y'all saw the Funny Marco interview that he did with G Herbo. Everybody was kind of calling G Herbo and Southside corny for how they treated Funny Marco. I guess Chris Brown went on and pretty much asked Funny Marco like why he let them do that to him. And I guess briefly after that, her made a video stating that like people need to keep his name out their mouth, whatever, whatever. He really liked that. And so everyone, the public, everyone assumed that Herb was talking about Chris. Chris comes back online and says Herb is my real life brother, whatever. Like it's not that. Herb confirmed that he wasn't talking about Chris. Um, but I just think that I think it's very interesting that it came out at the same time. What are your thoughts on it though?
Um, my thoughts on it is, I think to be, it's being messy. It's being messy if no names was dropped. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's being messy if no names been dropping. We can all shoot the shit and we all can gossip about, oh yeah, what's the timing and that? Who is he talking about and stuff like that. But I mean, you got to take somebody out of the word. No names was dropped. Both came out and issued a statement and said we ain't talking about. I'm not talking about him. He not talking about him. We cool. So I think it's one of those things that we're trying to poke at and that we don't know nothing about. So I think we should just. I would just leave it alone.
I feel like this too, like considering that we know Chris Brown to kind of sometimes be a little, vocal about stuff. I'm not gonna say high headed because I don't want to label him as that, but a little high-headed, a little vocal. This could have easily took a completely different route. And I think as do you feel like in certain situations, us as the public and us as maybe whether it's a platform that we speak on, whether it's just our social media, do we have a responsibility in those moments not to egg it on because we don't know what could have come of it? We've seen it happen before where things go the way that they go on the internet. People have words back and forth. We're egging it on, and then before you know it blows up into something bigger. I don't necessarily think that would have happened with this, but I'm just saying that it could very easily happen in certain situations where something like this happens and it gets blown up.
I 1,000% agree that publications and stuff need to not egg shit on. But that goes back to just the having an integrity on these platforms. Some platforms like the clicks are more important, right? So those clicks and those shares are going to increase their numbers. If they get their numbers up, that helps them with their advertisement and they pay the posts and stuff like that. So it's a business for them at the end of the day. It's gossip. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It's just gossip. You know what I'm saying? It's high school on the internet, you know? So
I also feel like this. Well, let me ask you this: do you think it was irresponsible of her to say that at the specific time, knowing that I mean, I don't know if he knew about the Funny Marco interview with Chris Brown, but if he did, do you feel like it was a little irresponsible for him to post that at the same time frame, knowing that it was gonna somehow get traced back to him?
I don't think it was irresponsible of him because there's no, we don't know who he's talking about. Like Herb, it's clear as day. Herb is literally going through something, right? We're seeing him in real time going through something. And this is not the first time he has taken the internet to address some things he's going through with people in his real life. So there's no way to say who he was talking about. And I'm only
Mhm.
and I'm being like this because I don't want to be one of those people to be like, oh man, yeah, he was talking about that. Like if he was clear as day, like if it was like more evidence besides them dropping at the same time, I'd be like, yeah, you know what, yeah, I heard you was talking about him. Like you mentioning stuff the way you could tell. But if it's just this, like I just like, nah, I'll let that one go. You know what I'm saying?
hmm I feel like right now he's kind of in this very delicate space with, it's very clear, like you said, it's very clear some things are happening behind the scenes. And, he's in a very delicate space. And I think my concern is that, we see a lot of jokes on the internet and stuff, but my concern really is like, as us as media and even just regular people, like sometimes the jokes are funny, but at the same time it's like we don't necessarily know how our words impact a person who is in the public light and going through these things that they're going through. And I feel like, just based off of things that I've seen, whether it was the interview, he had them girls lined up and there was people were talking about that, and then the promos, and it's a lot that he's like being talked about right now, and it's not in a very good light. But I also feel like it's not helping the situation either.
Agreed. Agreed. I mean, my prayers goes out to her, but you know what I mean. I just hope like he gets everything together. Um, it just what yeah, the way he's presenting himself to the public is not it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It's not it. So I pray that brother
Yeah,
get better.
I
But,
agree.
you know, but what we got? What's more? What we gonna get to? What we gonna to? You want to get to Grand Lux? I'm not a Grand Lux person. You want to get to Grand Lux for the Chicago audience? You want to talk about that Grand Lux closing?
Man, look, let me tell you something. I think they closing. I'm not sure exactly when the last day is. Um, let's see. When is the last day? Restaurants downtown Chicago that are closing, businesses that are, going up for sale. And it just seemed like Chicago is in a really weird space when it comes to our businesses, when it comes to our downtown, our tourist areas. Um, I'm just wondering, like, where do you see Chicago going at this point, given that some of our most like, I don't necessarily eat at Grand Lux, but I know a lot of people do eat there, and people go there and they, have their time or whatever. So it's like now it seemed like, I don't know if it's that people are just not going downtown, if us as Chicagoans are not going downtown anymore, or if our tourism is, lacking, and that's where the money is not coming in. But I think I am very concerned about our city and where it's going at this point, because we lose business, we lose money, and that money trickles down into our communities too.
Um, it's so many layers. It's so many layers. Like for one, we this is all just speculation, right? So let's speak on this. This all speculation. There's no there's no no data. On the people at home, we have no data to support this, or what we just talk about, just all speculations and how we feel. So how I look at the situation, I just look at it like, for one, I think Chicago leadership, and Shay spoke on this. I think Chicago leadership around the board, when it comes down to like just the city, is outdated. So they don't even, if you go to other cities like rising cities, like I like to use Houston and Dallas, for an example, is like the attractions that they have for people to do, the activities that's in the city, within the city areas where people can do and just have fun. So if I'm a tourist, or if I'm just a citizen here, like there's different things I can do. In Chicago, we don't have too many activities, for people to do. Like people are like want to have fun. Like we're getting tired of going to the West Loop. We're getting tired of just just simple stuff that we do all the time. Like we've been to the water tower. It's nothing exciting enough for me to keep going. when I can go to a mall or I can shop online to get certain things. So I think they need to be more forward thinking.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that we look at the store. Let's take the water tower specifically for example. How many of those stores have been in them in the water tower? Like, there's really no refreshing of the stores. There's really no like who shops at Apostle, who shops at Hollister, who shops at those stores anymore. I don't know too many people that shop at them stores anymore. There was a time where that was very popular. I know as a teenager, we all went to the water tower and got our, whatever from there. But now it's like, there's no real, for me, anyways, there's no real interest to go to these stores. Not even from because I hear that inflation is a big part of why people are not shopping. But I think for me personally, they just don't have what I want. Like, if it's easier for me to go on a Fashion Nova and get my 10 outfits and they be having sales and I'll try the stuff on and send it back if it don't work, it's easier for me. And the clothes, for me as a woman, they fit better. So I just think that if we're looking at it as the aspect, like you said, there's no forward thinking in, how they're developing these stores around there, who they're bringing in. Um, and do you feel like, because I know someone mentioned that they feel like the theft is a big part of why these stores are going out of business. Do you feel like that's a huge part of it?
Theft.
Yeah. Like, so from what I understand about retail is a lot of the times, whatever, like, so say whatever you made the year before, it plays into factor in what type of inventory you buy the next year, what your budget is, all of that. So if we're looking at certain situations where when the looting was happening, a lot of stores lost a lot of money off of that.
Mhm.
And so moving okay to the next year, they may not be able to buy certain things because of their budget for the year from whatever happened the year before.
Does insurance come into play at at any moment of time?
I'm sure it does, but I don't know. I don't know how their insurance. You got to think about too how their insurance works. Are they having to still pay something? I don't know how retail insurance works, but I know with any insurance that you have, there's a deductible more than likely. So I don't know. I guess maybe it depends on the store and what type of insurance they have.
Mm.
But I still would think that it would affect them monetarily, like in some type of way.
Hmm. No, I think honestly, I just think Chicago's just outdated. Like it's outdated. Like Chicago has been the same for years. I was just telling Bree this the other day. Like Chicago is a big small town. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you Chicago is built just like an Indianapolis or St. Louis, it's just bigger. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just a little bit bigger. And it's just outdated. Like if you go to like Atlanta or Houston, it's areas, it's designated areas where shit is live at. You know what I'm saying? Like they mall, they Galleria. It's like it's a designated area where people can like have fun and do
Yeah.
activities and just socialize. The water tower ain't that. And what's that in Chicago? What's the designated area where you can get all these stores, you have activities, a good place to socialize, it's a place to kill time, and it's just like a vibe. Like we don't
Yeah.
have that. Like you have midtowns, then you got like because most cities like this, you'll notice is that outside of like New York to me, uh most of these cities, their downtown is not cracking after business hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
if you go to Atlanta, Atlanta's downtown after business hours is dead.
Mhm.
Like you got to go to like Midtown or other places where you're gonna see people outside. You know what I'm saying? Over there by Buckhead and shit like that. That's where you're gonna see people outside moving around. But like downtown Atlanta, it be dry as hell after business. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Business hour. So it's the same thing for Chicago. Like downtown Chicago be dead after business hours. So it's like, what can you offer? Like, what is the things that you offer?
Now I know, like, so based off of like when I was working downtown, the areas that I was working in downtown, a lot of when COVID happened, all of the offices shut down. So we weren't even getting business like that around that time during the day, on the weekends. Like it was very far and few in between. We were not busy like that. With offices now, like I know a lot of offices are requiring their people to come back into the office, and I feel like a lot of that has to do with all around. Maybe I don't know. Maybe not, because I don't know, people be able to control their business however they want to. But um I think it might. I don't know. Can you see it changing if they're required to come back into the office? Do you see that being a trickle down effect then at that point, where maybe we could get our business up because now people are going downtown, so it's right. The stores are right there. They can go on their lunch break, get something, buy something, and then go back to their lunch or go after work. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out like what are our next steps as far as preserving our city, because it seems like if it's going downhill, what's happening next for us? Like,
I mean, we got a casino coming. That's gonna bring some stuff. But I just think it's just gonna be forward thinking. They just need different forward thinking to making Chicago a vibe. Like Chicago has nothing. Like I'm a Chicagoan, right? Where's the vibe?
yeah.
Where's the I just gonna go here in this area and like and it's gonna be a vibe. At least when I go to Houston, if I go to the Galleria area, it's bars and shit and stuff
Yeah.
around the Galleria, around the mall. And then if I go in the shit, that's a vibe a vibe in itself. Four or five different floors, is different things over here. Got the ice skating ring at the bottom. You get your hair nails done. They got restaurants, steakhouses inside there. It's a vibe in itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I'm in Chicago, like, where do I go for that?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they're gonna have to revamp somehow, because like I said, they start taking these businesses out and these businesses start moving, and then you factor in the fact that our city is not always the safest downtown. During the summertime, it's not always the safest. When you factor in all of those things.
Because you got no place for the kids to go. That's
Right,
all.
but what I'm saying is that all of this is still a trickle down effect, because the city is not making money off of property taxes and all of these things that fund our neighborhoods. So what happens once that starts to dwindle? Our neighborhoods are going to be the first ones hit, and the money is going to be taken out. So I feel like it's a trickle down effect. Like we're going to see the consequences of what's happening in our downtown area is gonna affect the whole city in different ways.
I probably can't speak on that in intelligence because I don't have a huge background in economics. But I mean, it's one of the things we just gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to wait and see. We got definitely gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. I'm worried for our city. I'm not gonna lie.
Till then, if you need a place to come kick it, South Loop where it's at. Specifically, Row 24. On November
Get that
22nd.
plug in.
For Black Friday. Black Wednesday. Come party with us. Get your tickets right now. You know what I mean? On Event Noir, or you can go to what'stheword.tv and get those. Talking about plug in. I gotta get this money, you understand me?
I feel you. Get that money.
Um
You can distribute it to
speak
the entire team.
speaking of getting some money, uh where we wanna go? I wanna go to I really don't want to do the Drake and J. Cole. I want to go to this Drewski and Birdman thing. So I found that very, 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 very interesting. That Birdman had one of the could have been records changed. Um,
Okay, so has Drewski said anything about it?
he retweeted something, but I ain't really I ain't been following the story, so I was hoping that you was been following the story.
I haven't heard anything about it, but I'll say this. To the point where he felt like he needed to do that. One. Two, I just feel like in certain situations, Drew, he a comedian. Like, I mean, he might have said something funny and dude took it away, or I don't really know, but I just feel like it's corny. Like that man ain't about that life. Like, why are you snatching his chain from him?
Uh,
Pick on somebody your own size. Like,
I think it's a rollout. I think everything is rollout. I think it's going. I think Drewski is probably like one of the biggest entertainers in the game right now, and I think Birdman is going linking up with him and getting some content done. And I think it's a rollout.
I mean, it very much so could, but you know what they said about the whole Funny Marco thing? A lot of people thought it wasn't real. And apparently it was real. Like the whole thing that happened with G Herbo. Like people thought it wasn't real and ended up being real. So who knows? It would be funny if it is some content. Okay, cool. But if he really did that in real life, he corny as hell for that.
I don't know, man. It's just a rollout, man. I think we got at some point in time we got to really just start figuring out getting the blurred line between what's reality and what's like content because
So, but wait, that's the hard part though, is because a lot of the times people are using their reality for content. So,
mm,
how do you like at this point in like the day and age we live in, how much of it is real?
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a good question, and it makes it hard for you to want to watch and follow this shit. Like I
Mhm.
don't be wanting to watch a lot of this stuff. I don't be wanting to like follow it because it's all be fugazi.
But you know what's so crazy though is if we look back on how content even started, a lot of this started from where? Reality TV. How much of reality TV when we was watching it and we were, in the thick of it when it first started, we didn't know that a lot of these situations were made up and they were scripted, or maybe half of it was true, half of it wasn't. So it's like, I mean, really that same strategy is only transferring now into the internet, and that's what we're seeing now. Some of it, half of it is real, half of it isn't. And I mean, it make you not want to watch it, but think about it. Like reality TV got to a point where people didn't really want to watch it no more because why? Because of the same thing. People started to catch on like, oh, Love and Hip Hop is might be scripted, it might not be, all of it be real. They're putting people in situations just to get the content. So it's really and truly, I don't see no difference between reality TV and what people are doing now for content. It's the same thing.
I'm so sick of people. Like I'm so sick of the Krishan Rock girl. Like I'm just tired of all of it.
You
Like
know what? I was
all
just
of it.
saying, because that whole Tamar Braxton situation happened where I guess she assaulted one of her somebody on her team. She assaulted them. She bum rushed her stage during Love and War. Love and War is an iconic song. How are you messing up Love and War? For them people that spent all that money to see that concert, a lot of them went to hear that specific song. She gonna go on stage. I think we got a video of it. We gonna play the video?
Damn! Damn! Wait a like that. Can you turn the bitches off? Uh-oh, bitch up. Why is the light? Hi, how you doing? Yeah! Shit! Ah! Bop, bop, bop! They are who they are. Taylor Braxton, what are you talking about? Hold on, sis. Yeah. It's only 4 y'all. We need more. Like, what are you? Like, all right, I'm a part of the choir.
I want you to sing.
Yeah, Chris. Woo.
Oh yeah, go.
I need like 250. Like somebody who really been writing 10 years.
Mm. Just a hot drunk mess. Like, let me tell you something. That girl been drunk since we started watching her, and we have seen her spiral, like just spiral and continuously spiral. And I know a lot of the times we want to give grace. Like I've seen people say she's a new mother, give her grace. She's had a lot of trauma, give her grace. But at some point, great, there is a difference between grace and accountability. And right now, I think we are seeing like all of the excuses we've been giving her over the last few, years or a year of things happening. It's like we are seeing this full on play, and at some point, somebody got to hold her accountable for her actions because it's going to continue to keep happening. Like she's going to keep doing this, and then there's a sense of entitlement that she has where she feels like, how do you go on somebody's stage and feel like, yeah, I'm about to perform. I'm going to perform. When am I going to perform? And it's like, come on, girl. Like at some point, show some respect for yourself and the person that allowed you and invited you to the show. Because Tamar did go on and say, hey, I invited her to the show, but I never said she was going to perform. And then for you to go on stage at during one of her biggest songs and then crash the stage, it's crazy.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It's not even about that though. And then here's on the other side of that, this is what I would feel like too. Tamar's team, somebody getting fired on that damn team. Because how y'all let that girl go on stage and do that? Nobody stopped her. No one said, yo, grab the mic from this drunk girl. Nobody said, yo, let me intercede here. Let me make sure that she don't go on stage. I think that's might have been no, because I think that the assault happened after they kicked her off the stage. So
They might have been scared. You never know. Shit, they seen them. They seen the footages. They know she got shorty got hands. She might run up and probably
let
get
me
hit with a
ask
two
you this
piece.
though, because somewhere Blueface is over there saying I ain't the problem. Because that's the next. People say that in the comments. Well, it looking like Blueface ain't the problem.
I
Like
mean, Blueface was an enabler too, though. You know what I mean? He was an enabler, so he was a part of the problem. He curated. This is a monster. He curated. You know what I
she is
mean? He helped
definitely
fuel this
a
monster. He can help feed this. You know what I mean? Till he can get a bag off of it. And I don't know. To me, I think all press is good press, and I wouldn't be surprised if Zeus was somewhat filming this, and this is going to be a new reality TV show of Krishan, and we're gonna get the backstage footage of this whole Tamar Braxton situation, and people gonna watch it. So I don't know. This all is a rollout. It's all this content. I just want to know how can I block people or names off my feed, like off my algorithm, because I'm tired of Shorty.
I'm tired of her too. I'm not gonna lie. Like there was a part of me that feels for her as a new mother. There's a part of me that felt for her trauma because we've all been there. But at the same time, mama, at some point you gotta be able to take responsibility for you have a whole child that you are raising. And what's gonna happen? Like if you don't grow up or you don't get the help that you need because you clearly need some help, whether it's you need to get help for alcohol and if you're doing drugs, whatever, or just therapy, get some help because now we're in a space where you have a child, you're bringing this child around, she got the baby everywhere with her. So it's like even that aspect of it of I'm doing all this reckless shit but I'm doing it with my child. Like somebody has to step in and do something because that poor baby, who knows?
It's looking crazy, man. But thoughts and prayers to everybody involved. That's all I'm gonna say. Thoughts and prayers, and hopefully her team get it right. Um, it's one like we talked about this early. We touched on it earlier. Ourselves gonna bring it back up. So over the weekend, I was arguing with my brother about. I'm not gonna say arguing. We was having a real heated discussion. I'm gonna put it that way. We was having a discussion, a real intense discussion regarding parenting, right? So his thing is fire. We was talking about firearms within school,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, yo, I don't believe guns should be in school. He say, because he's licensed firearm carrier, he can carry his gun in the state that he live in. He's allowed to have his gun. He say he feel that teachers and security guards should have guns within the school because if they did, a lot of those mass shootings would have got stopped at the door. Now, as a parent, I want to know to get your feedback on that, and before we go into depth, just off
Um,
the initial point.
I'll say this. So here, there's two sides to this. One of the sides is historically, and this is why people have fought so hard to not have whether it is, actual police officers in schools or security guards. We have seen things play out in schools where they have abused their power. And what has happened in it, we've seen videos of this where they're dragging kids, hitting kids, doing certain things that it's like, come on, like you're going above what your job description is. Adding guns to that is very dangerous depending on the type of schools you're adding to these. Like, there's so many layers to this, because if you're looking at it from an aspect of, because a lot of the times, like, unfortunately, these um abuse of power happens to Black children. And so what happens if we put these guns in these schools and these security officers who are doing this to these children shoot the child? Or, like, there's just, I don't know, it's, on one hand, I get what you're saying, because it's like you, or his cousin, your cousin, I get what he's saying, because it's like you want to be able to have that extra protection for your children. Of course, like, this is something that, I homeschool my children now, but like when they were in school, this is something that really, like, it messed with my mind every day, because I'm like, you just never know what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other hand, it's like, well, if I have a security guard that may abuse his power, like, you just don't ever know where that's gonna go. And so I think on both ends, I see both ends of it. Personally speaking, um, I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't know if I would be okay with it, but then at the same time, I also think about my children's safety. Could that stop? I just think there needs to be better protocols in place for schools, so that it's too easy for these people to walk up in these schools. Too easy. Like, even when I was at my kids were in school and I was picking them up, they have like a little intercom where you ring it and there's like a camera, but they weren't paying attention to who was coming in and out that building.
And that goes back into what we one of the things we was talking about as well, right? So my solution to it is like I brought to the table was, why can't we just have the doors locked in the school, and if somebody want to come in, they have to get buzzed in instead of letting it be a free for all? And their rebuttal was, well, that's like prison when you lock people in, and you're conditioning the students already to be prison. Like, you already got metal detectors, you got security guard, they got to get buzzed in. It's like, you already got to be prison. And
I
then
agree with you.
that was my standpoint.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They were saying that that's like you shouldn't be able to do that because, like you said, that's prison. And another point that they brought up was that something as precious as kids, like in America, we treat cargo with more extensive security. Like when they certain
Yeah.
cargoes get delivered, like it's way more security opposed to when you're dealing with children. And that just really just sparked that would spark the whole debate. And I was just like, y'all wanted to ask, I wanted to get on here and ask that question.
I agree with Cindy. I don't think it's similar to prison at all. I think that is for safety. I feel like, given the time that we're in, you kind of have to take extra, like, there is that you should take that extra precaution to protect these babies, because at the end of the day, like, whether they live through that or not, unfortunately, when it happens, or if it happens, there's still so much that, like, psychologically, that they would have to deal with. So I feel like, if it means, okay, maybe there is the argument of that may feel like prison, but is that what's the lesser of the two evils at this point? Like, I'd rather my kids be safe, and okay, there's rules, you're constricted or whatever the case is. But on the other hand, that may not, I would say this: look at places like China. China has classes where they're teaching these kids how to assemble guns.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's just so much that goes into that. But I think, for me personally, I would say lock the doors, and just be very intentional about paying attention. And that's all you could do. Like, I think guns is a little too much. I think it's also, you got to think about it. Some children have never even been around guns. So imagine walking into school and they see a gun in a holster. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's a little taboo for certain kids, and it's a little scary. I'm not gonna lie. Even as an adult, like, think about how many situations we've come across just living regular lives and coming across police with guns, and how that may make us a little uncomfortable. Can you imagine what that would do to a child psychologically?
Mm. Mhm.
Because kids already have, depending on the upbringing, some children already have fear of police officers. So imagine going into school and not feeling safe from the staff, and that's supposed to be a safe space.
Okay. That was a great insight on that. You know what I mean? I don't have nothing to add to it. I think I agree with a lot of the points you made. I don't agree with my brother at all. But it wouldn't be the first time I did that. Love him to death though. So was moving to something more. Let's move into something more upbeat and fun. Yeah. Is it okay? Question of the day. Is it okay to dance on your favorite celeb in front of the world if you're in a relationship?
Do we have that video now? Okay, so I actually saw this morning. So it's actually one of my favorite reggaeton singers. He has his fans come on stage and they dance up on him. Now, mind you, from my understanding, I feel like he's either in a relationship or he's married, and he has these girls like grinding on him.
This is who?
Mike Towers. His name is Mike Towers.
What is that? I never heard of him. Mike Towers.
You need to listen to him because he's amazing. He's my favorite.
Send it to
But
me.
so he has these girls come on stage and they dance on him or whatever. So he brought a woman on stage and he's like, "Wait a minute, like, I see your ring, you're married." And she's like, "Oh, I think we got the video." So, he's like, "I think you're married or whatever. Like, what you doing?" And she just pretty much was like, "Look, you're here, Mike Towers, baby. I'm sorry, but Mike Towers is here and I'm for the grind on him."
Hace rato la Santiago, te crees que yo estoy dormido. Él está durmiendo. Mándale un saludo. Mi amor, I love you, pero my time is here, baby. Espérate que se me salen las flores. Óyeme, yo quiero saber una cosa así. Ahí en la pared de la mano. Yo pensaba que tú eras fiel. ¿Dónde están las mujeres fieles de Conérico?
So I'm looking at dude Instagram. He remind me of Warren from Sweeney Todd's.
I love me some Mike Towers. He's amazing. I was trying to get to the concert, but anyways, okay. Would you be mad at your girl if she did that?
Would I be mad at my lady if she grinded on Mike Towers? No, I
The
would
way
not be.
she just did that though.
Mm-mm.
No, you would not care.
I wouldn't care because if I get in a relationship with a woman, we already gonna know what it is. So if that's the type of if I get into a relationship with a type of girl that does that type of shit, I mean, she like, you know what I'm saying? She get called on stage, she don't want to be boring. And now if I'm there, there's difference. But if it's like if she out with her girlfriends and it's that she at the concert, like a concert like that, I ain't talking about the club or no shit like that. I'm talking about like a concert on stage. Like she gotta be fun. So she fun. Like so she having a good time. Like if I'm there, nah, we not doing that. Cause I'm there watching that. But if I'm
So
but
but what about the aspect of like you finna watch it when you go on Instagram? Like this, it's gonna go viral. Like you don't care.
9 times out of 10, like 10 times out of 10, after the concert is over, or she probably texted me and told me this will happen and expect to see it. You know what I'm saying? I know what's up. I'm secure in myself, I'm secure in the relationship. Now she went missing that night and then I ain't seen her and she come home. Then now I'm like, damn, you went viral for dancing on this motherfucker. Now you went missing. Where was you at? That's a different conversation. But if you know what I'm saying, you gotta just know who you're dealing with. You gotta know who fun. Like
I feel that. I feel like, I think it definitely depends on the type of man because I feel like men are very like big about their ego and their pride and like sometimes it like we have situations where we'll be like, come on, man, like that was a little too much. Personally speaking, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna get mad if my man like get on stage with like somebody. I'm trying to think of somebody like a Sierra or and she grinding on him or just like any female singer or rapper that like and that's kind of they thing. Like it's like you kind of know when they go to these concerts what could possibly happen. I mean, we don't know for sure, but we know that it's a possibility. I feel like it's nothing wrong with that at the end of the day. Okay, so let me ask you this though. What if your girl works in the same field as you and it's like media and it's a possibility that she may run into this man again? Like, or
I wouldn't date no. I'm not dating no girl in my field, so I'm good.
I was just wondering. I don't know. Personally speaking, I wouldn't care. And
No.
if I was the girl and it's Mike Towers, baby, look,
Hey man,
it's going down.
to each his own. Like, but it's the same thing with the Kiki Palmer situation. Like, when dude the Usher toured her around, I had no problem with her dancing on Usher. I just felt his sentiment when she had her ass out and shit. Like, that was a different story. That's a different story than like that. So it's like, we start. It's layers to ego on this shit. Like, you got whole ass out, then you did a music video with the niggas. So I've been mad, but
So
but
you feel like women should not be able to dress how they want in relationships if they're in a relationship? Because that's pretty much what it came down to. Yes, she had her ass out, but she was dressing how she wanted to dress.
I feel like this comes down to the conversation with the guy you're dealing with. You're not gonna be. You're gonna have to have some type of compromise when you're in a relationship because you're giving up. I'm giving up something. You're giving up something to make this one, right? So some things you just gonna have to compromise on. Like if if it's a non-negotiable. Like I done dealt with women that had like non-negotiables of how they run their household. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things like you just when you come over here, some simple as you have to take off your shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's so interesting to me
yeah.
that you feel like what a woman wear, like versus this man who actually like pretty much felt up on her while she was dancing. Like you think I feel like the lesser of the two evils is the girl when she just okay, she got her ass out. They could look, but they can't touch. Versus this man, she is on top, pretty much on top of this man.
Look, she got up on stage. You know what come with that. Like if my girl ain't the type, if she's not the type to do that type of shit, and then if I see her do that shit, it's a whole nother conversation.
Okay, so what's that conversation like? Because I would want to know what the difference is at that point. Because for me, I feel like that would make you feel even more better. Like, you know what, my girl ain't really like that. So, she's just having a little fun. You're
No,
saying that if your girl was like
it's
that,
completely opposite.
how?
If you got a girl that's fun, right? If your lady is fun, so meaning y'all talk about this type of stuff, or
Yeah.
y'all secure within yourself, or y'all be like, damn, yeah, sure you got a fat ass, or she can say something going sexy and you secure in yourself, like, oh yeah, oh you think dude handsome, oh he cute dude, okay, cool. Like y'all got a relationship like that. Y'all have a relationship that, let's say personally, I'm not a dancer, right? So I'm not gonna be the one dancing. I'm not a dancer. That's not what I do. But if we out and about, and let's say she want to dance, so she can dance. and do what she want to do. It ain't gotta be with me. It could be with another girl, or say if she just want a guy that she just want to dance. It's been situations where I've seen this happen. Like I'm cool because we know us. But if you ain't never been the type, like you ain't never been the type to do no shit like this. You ain't never like long as we've been dating, you've been nah, we don't do this. I don't do that. That's against my character. That like you one of them types, and then this situation
But
coming from
okay, but
thousands
it's
of
a
people
situation once in a lifetime. Like, cause
in front of
okay,
thousands of people, your
no.
character just go out the window. Like who you
But
is, just go out the window.
let me tell you
And
this.
it's been 101. I've been asking
I'm
you
not that
to drop
type.
it
Like,
low and
I
all this
probably
shit.
wouldn't. If I had a relationship and I was in a relationship, I probably wouldn't dance up on a man at a club. I just wouldn't, out of respect for my man. This is a once in a lifetime thing that may not happen again. I'm dancing on Mike Towers, like, and that's just how I feel. So I feel like not necessary because it's not in my character, but I'm a dance up on him because it's who he is. Like,
I
it's a
think
cute little fun time.
I think we I think it goes back to that we're not like we and this is what I think this is where we mess up at dating that in our generation because we try to make shit so black and white and don't understand everything is situational. What you and your man might be cool with might not be is might not be cool with the next. You know what I'm saying? So if you dealing with somebody that like this type, I had a lunch with a friend of mine yesterday, and she was talking about polygamy in her marriage. All right. And she was saying, like, yo, she knows the industry she works in and how she's always gone and she gonna be on tour and shit like that. So she's open to having a woman at home to do the at home duties that they have in their house. You know what I mean? And that shit shocked my head because it wasn't like no, oh yeah, I'm trying to go fuck with other dudes and nothing like that, and he get other women. It was like, yo, I can see what they're working because for us, it's like, yo, how can I expect for this man to hold me down, not to cheat, not to do everything I did, and I'm on tour for the next 90 days.
So I feel like in that situation, or even in situations when it comes to polygamy, people have a lot of misinterpretations of what polygamy is because polygamy isn't just y'all fuck on a girl together and y'all have a girlfriend. Polygamy is about creating a union between you and the person that you're dealing with and you decide to bring into your relationship. And a lot of people who are in polygamous relationships, they view it as an asset. They do. They view it as this, it's another income, it's somebody there that take care of, the household if I'm not present. And a lot of the times these women have friendships with each other, and it's not just a matter of that. So I could see how, her saying, okay, I could bring somebody else in. It's a partnership. It's not just like people have just this misconception of what polygamy is.
Okay,
But
let me
it's
ask you this: do you believe in polygamy?
no, no,
So that goes back to
absolutely not.
the original statement I said is that what might be good for you and yours might not it might may not be good for the next. So all I'm saying is that the whole on stage situation is like, yo, if you're comfortable with what y'all got going on, you ask me as like relationships and men and women like that, yeah, what you got going on, that may not affect your man because your man might know what go like that might be appropriate in that relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Let me
saying?
ask you this though, because you mentioned that you feel like a woman with her ass out is completely different than a woman dancing on a man, and you feel like a woman with her ass out is worse than a woman, your girl dancing on another man. Why do you feel that way?
I didn't say a
What's the
woman with
difference?
her, I didn't say a woman with her ass out. I said my woman with her ass out.
Okay, your woman with her ass out, you wouldn't care if she's dancing on another man, but you would care if her ass is out. Why do you feel like there's a difference? Or what is the
I feel
difference between
like as my lady, I don't want my lady walking around with her ass out. And that's it. But if you that type of girl that just frequently walk around with your ass out, like, well, I done seen certain outfits on the internet, like, damn, like that's how y'all giving it up now. Like, I don't think me and you will ever get to a situation where you and my girl doing some shit like that. and it's publicly on the internet. Like it's publicly for things like
So, there's an argument that goes around, just like you made the argument of you're confident in your relationship, whatever, it's okay for her to go on stage and dance with this girl. Why can't you have that same confidence if she got her ass out?
I say because that's one of my non-negotiables. Like it's like you can't make me think like yo you having your ass out is cool to me. Like nah, it's not cool. I don't want you having your whole ass and your body and your everything out. Like nah, like like we not on that type of time. Like this is an intentional thing. Like that going on stage shit. That was like how you said one in a lifetime. You're having fun at a thing. This is not something that's gonna happen every day. You win this type of attire could be what I'm saying. That's like a part of your wardrobe, part of what your style and part of your makeup.
What if she's only doing it on social media and not in like
Even
every.
worse because why is you even posting that shit on social media? Who you need? What do you need to see? You know what I'm saying? Who you need to see? Like that's we not on that type of time. But once again, this would be my lady. This would be
No,
the
I
this
understand
would
that.
be
I'm
the
just
woman
trying to understand your
I
mind
think would do
frame
it.
with it. Okay, yeah, I just wondering, like, because I know like certain women they argue that if I do it because I had a friend who for their relationship, she's posted some pretty provocative stuff. It's done tastefully, but it's still provocative in certain aspects, right?
Mhm.
So she has a boyfriend. Her boyfriend had a problem with it. So she just removed him from the social media. They're still together. She still posted whatever she wanted because she's like, I feel good about myself when I do this. I like the way I feel when I do this. And they were able to kind of, I guess, work through it. And I've seen situations where, like, okay, for example, Ace Hood's wife, Sheila Marie. People talk about her body all the time, and they talk about some of the things that she posts on the internet. And they say things like, "Aren't you married? Why are you posting that?" And she's like, "For one, like my body is my body. Like he don't own my body. I do what I want with it." So I'm just like wondering, like, obviously, like it goes back to what fits for your relationship. He may not care. You, on the other hand, may care.
I,
I
I I solely hate that statement when people be like, "My body is my body," or "This is mine," and if you got a whole partner and shit like that. I get it, you know what I'm saying, but that's never should be the because that's in real life. That's not even the real thing behind it. The real thing is behind it that me and my partner talked about this, and we had a discussion about this, and he's cool with it, so I can do it. Because if he wasn't cool with it, you wouldn't be doing it. If she wasn't cool with it, he wouldn't be doing it. So that whole my body and this and stuff like that, y'all gotta sometimes we gotta stop. We gotta stop just putting messages out there that's the end all be all. Like, no, it's real conversations that being had for allow certain people to do certain things out in the public. I don't care what it is. Like if I want to run for office, if I want to run for president, it's not because it's my choice and I want to be president. It's no, like I had to sit down with my wife and let her know this is what I'm going to put her and my kids through.
What do you say to people who? Because we've also seen this aspect of it, especially I've seen men say it too. Like my girl could wear whatever she wants, and then speaking to men who don't feel the same way that they do, they see it as an insecurity. What do you say to people that maybe may view how you feel as an insecurity because you should be secure that your woman only wants you?
Nah, because that's the same thing as saying I should be secure that my wife got an OnlyFans. Like, no, I don't want my wife having an OnlyFans.
Speaking of OnlyFans, did you see Joe Smith's wife giving a back rub to camera?
Clear as day. And now
Man,
if that ain't clear with Joe, what she gonna say? Oh, it's my hands, my choice, my career, my choice. No, when you get served on divorce papers, it's gonna be your choice too. Now you talking about you doing all this extra shit, this extra things for these likes and these impressions to be around Cam and them, but you're not even thinking about the person you get at home that you building with. That's the same thing with the Kim Kardashian sex tape. You know what I'm saying? Like nah, G. Nah, we gotta quit. It gotta stop being at some point in time. We gotta stop this COE. Like we got to stop
So,
COE.
do you feel that way? So, prior to going back to the whole, Joe Smith's wife and even Kim, in these situations with these two women, have they had history prior to them getting married of dressing a certain way, or for Joe Smith's wife, I believe she had an OnlyFans prior to, or she was doing porn or something prior to. You go in these situations with these women knowing that this is who they are in a sense. Do you feel like women should at that point, okay, I'm in a situation I go into, I was doing this before, now I'm getting married. Should that stop? Especially if money's coming in because of it.
I hate I so a lot of times, Jay, you speak on the only time you don't speak when you speak on women, you don't come from a victim or like the vulnerable standpoint is when you talk about Megan Thee Stallion. That's the only time. Your approach for all this is always like, yo, women shouldn't have to do this. Women should have to do
That's
that.
a different. That's a
Only
different.
time you don't come
That's
from
a different
you don't come from
conversation. It's a
anything
reason for
from
that, though.
anything though that to Tory Lanez, you be right there with
I'm a
every.
ride. I'm a ride.
I just want to throw that out there. That's just that.
So you saying that I'm contradicting myself?
I'm not saying you're contradicting yourself. I'm just saying that
I asked you a question. I didn't even say if that's my personal belief. I'm not saying.
I'm just
I'm
saying
not
that
saying
it's
that
just me
though.
just taking in
It's
like just
called. It's called
if
having
you
a
just off
narrative, like
how you speak it, right? How you I just going off how we
creating the
speak.
dialect. That doesn't
But you the homie
necessarily.
though. You the homie though. I just want you to know that though.
That's not necessarily meaning that that's my personal point of view, because you want to know my personal point of view? I'll tell you my personal point of view. If I'm doing this prior to me getting married and my husband, I just had a situation happen like this. I posted a picture. He told me he didn't even tell me to take it down. He made a comment. I took it down before he even told me to take it down. So for me, personally speaking, I am a very firm believer in you listen to your partner. Your partner is your partner for a reason. You're choosing to be with them. If they're uncomfortable with something, then you should take into consideration, and you may have to change a few things about yourself to be in this relationship. Some women may not agree with that. Personally speaking, if I want to deal with this person, yes, I'm going to consider their feelings in certain situations, but
And
that's it. That's all.
I applaud that, and and I think that has to be said too, because the main reason why you on this show is not to give the podcast political correct answer. I need for you to give me your answer. You know what I'm saying? Like I know who Jay Marie is. I want to see that. You
I
know what
do
I'm
give my personal
saying? Right. So that's
opinions about things.
that's a good and that's good. And I want you
I'm
to continue.
probably the out of all three of us, I'm the most transparent probably than everyone. And y'all can't say that I'm not. I'm very much so am.
You are you. I give it to
But
you.
don't do that because you're the least out of all three of us.
I love what you bring. I love what you bring to it. I love what you bring to it.
I
Um,
just asked a question. That's all
so
I asked. I said I just want to know what you think about that.
I think I think so. If a girl is doing OnlyFans and all this other shit, and she's finna get married and start a family with somebody, should she stop doing that? I say if you're going to do that, what was the conversation had with your fiance? So that's the first thing. What was the conversation had with your fiance? Did your fiance agree with this lifestyle? Was he to live with this career decision? Because I just read a quote today. Is that and shout out to Terry. Just read a quote today when it said that we often judge men mess up when we judge women off things they did when they were single, and I think that's just across the board in relationships.
That's an amazing quote.
Yeah, we judge people off things what they do when they were single. When I'm single, I can you can do this, you know what I'm saying? You can
Yeah.
do whatever, do some experiment on so why? Because I'm single, because I'm making these choices on my own and I'm going and I'm growing. So therefore now when we in a relationship, like we gotta have that conversation, like, yo,
Do you feel like
you're not
I feel like a lot of the times women are judged more than men when it comes to like what we do prior to, because we are taught from a very young age, you got to be the one that a man chooses. So you have to move accordingly. We see men say this all the time in podcasts, especially in these damn podcasts. They have, oh, well, if she's moving like this, I'm not going to wife her. Or if she's doing this, I'm not going to make her my girl. I'm not going to take her serious. You said it earlier. I'm not going to take her serious. So why this goes back to like, you know, it rings true what you're saying, but also you just contradicted yourself.
How did I contradict myself?
Because you said earlier, well, if this is the type of person you're moving this way, I'm not going to take you serious. You said that. I don't remember. We were talking about the Mike Towers thing, but you also said something about like, well, if she's dressing a certain way or she's doing whatever, I'm not going to take her serious, you know, and that's just what it's going to be. So
So
you're
you're
now
asking.
saying
So you're asking for in my personal
yes,
thing.
that you just said it. We got to be personal. So
If
I want to
my
know.
personal thing, me, if she's on OnlyFans, it's a 17. It's a 7 chance out of 10 that no, I'm not taking her serious. Like I'm not
Well,
even gonna.
why? She's a single woman. You shouldn't take her serious. She's doing what she got to do to make her money. Now she.
Because I look, we could probably rendezvous. We could probably have a good time. We can kick it. But for me personally, I like privacy. I'm a private person. Like I
Okay,
don't.
what if she wasn't an OnlyFans, but she was a stripper?
I like privacy. I like privacy. I don't. It just it
So then
would.
you do judge women based off of what they do when they're single. You do you. She's a single woman. She got no. You ain't taking
No,
care of her.
because you're telling me that the question was at hand was would she still have to do this profession? Would I allow her to still do this profession? No, I wouldn't allow her to be on OnlyFans. I wouldn't even probably take an OnlyFans person serious. That's just for one. A stripper on the other hand, that's a different conversation. Cause I done kicked it with some cool strippers in my
I
life.
love me a good stripper.
You know
They
what
so
I mean?
down to
So
earth,
that's
personable.
a different conversation. Um, stripper, bottle girl, that's a different conversation. You know what I mean? Because you doing what you got to do to get where you trying to go. So it's a different conversation. Because you can. My philosophy is a hoe is a hoe. So if you was a hoe in a strip club or if you was a hoe at U of I, you still a hoe. You know what I'm saying? You was a hoe in Carbondale, you still a hoe. No matter what, just because you was a strip club doing it, don't make you a different. The difference between you being a hoe in Chicago ain't no difference from you being a hoe in the DR. A hoe is a hoe. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it is. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, that's just a conversation. Like if she cool and this is the one for me. You know what I mean? It might be a stripper. It just don't have
That's
private.
but I'm saying, like, what if you link with an OnlyFans and she don't tell you she on OnlyFans and you just love the vibe?
I
You like
can't do it because it's private. Now that's the difference between the strip club and doing somebody on OnlyFans and doing porn. That disc and that footage is out there in the world. Strip clubs still have some type of privacy because there's no phones and then just the people that know they did it. So that's like a motherfucker. If a girl that's fucked with a bunch of dudes, only people that know she fucked with them is the niggas that actually fucked. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like the whole world can just video and go back to her footage. You know what I'm saying? So I can see the stripper getting away with that. You know what I'm saying? I can see that being a thing. You ain't really finna get me with the OnlyFans because your footage is out there. So the privacy part of it is over with. The
what
illusion is
about what
over with.
about a girl who let her partner film her and he still got the videos?
Um, that's different because then that comes if them videos ever resurface, then that becomes a case opposed of a that's a privacy and he's just a lane for disobeying your privacy. You know what I mean?
I was just saying, like some men feel some type of way about thinking that they girl got somebody got videos or pictures of a girl somewhere.
I'm with him because like I, it's like every time I date a woman, we had this conversation about that type of shit. I always tell her like, gee, every woman in this world got a naked video or photo of them flirting around in somewhere. Some you done did it. I ain't never like shorty. So you done let at least one in your whole history of having sex. If you're not a virgin, you done let somebody record you. If you haven't let somebody record you, you done sent somebody a nude when you feel like your body was looking good in the mirror. So it's like it's out there. Like it's going to be out there, and it's way before you got me. It's like the whole thing when people be like, "Oh man, I'm texting her, I'm trying to get over her, but she texting other dudes." It's like, gee, she's attracted to you, right? So I mean, she's attracted to somebody else. So before you got her number on this Friday, it was other people from Thursday on back that wanted to get at her. You know what I'm saying? So that shouldn't even be in your. You shouldn't even be thinking about that. Your goal should be focusing on what you're trying to do right now. You got her attention. You do that right now. But yeah, I know it's news and photos, all that shit in the world. Like I don't care.
Do you feel like people should like you should delete news if like so say you get into a new relationship, should you delete the news from your I'm about to get him caught up. I I'll tell you what I feel like. Uh,
Do you delete? You be leading the news?
I will. I feel like it's I don't know.
This the clip right here. Deleting the news.
Deleting the nudes. Should you delete the nudes though? Like, okay, you in a new relationship now, or should she? Okay, would you want your girl to delete the nudes off her phone?
Hmm. A news of another dude.
Yeah, like they was getting it in, and she recorded it on her phone or some shit.
What I want her to do to delete it off her phone? If we was to get married, yes.
Okay, so if y'all was in a relationship, you wouldn't care.
Nah, I just don't never want to see it.
What about if she sent
But I never see it because I never go
what
through her
about
phone.
recycled pictures? Like her
Don't send me no old news. If you gonna send me a news, I need the newspaper to be right there in the back. I need to see the date. You know what I'm saying? I need to know I need to watch the same thing I'm watching on TV. The Bears playing in the background. I need you to take a news with
do you
Justin
feel
Fields in
like
the background.
what if she asked you to delete like news that you had or videos you had of another girl? Would you delete them?
And we ain't married now.
No. I feel like I want my man to delete them because what you keeping them for? I'm all what you need. Like you don't need nothing else. You
See,
don't need nothing else. Because if I find out, I'm deleting them. If I
see,
find them, I'm deleting them.
this is what like Shorty, my homie last night was telling me, and she was talking about the dating game being trapped. The dating game is not being trapped. It's the way we approach it. Like you're focusing on some old shit.
You're focusing it. That's why it's in your phone.
It's in my phone because it happened.
Okay, but you still
We
focusing
ain't
on
me and
your
you
phone.
ain't me you and I haven't crossed that path where it's a us and we're building, we got family, we got kids, and we got a future. If that's the case, that shit should be gone. That shit should be gone. If I got news, that shit should be gone, right? Gone. Or if I keep it, it should be a place where you never catch it. It should never. If I got to.
Okay, so my question is, why are you keeping them anyways?
I mean, I'll put it like this, right? As a man, and I think a woman, you should keep it. If you want to keep it, you keep it too. I think it just should never get. It should. You should have so much respect for your partner that things like that should never be loosely presented and be available to themselves, right? So if I got old news, some shit from old girls from back in the day or whatever, when I'm 60 years old, I won't even say when I'm talking to my son because I don't think you had this conversation with your son. But when you're 60 years old and you having this conversation with your brothers or your cousins or your little nephews or whatever, and they grown mature and they in the game and shit like that, you have conversations with them about it. You know what I'm saying? You just be like, yo, I did this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But why do you need to keep them? Why can't you just have that conversation?
or I
Like,
used to date,
what is
or I used to date her. This is how she used to look. This is back in the day. Da da da.
that's?
It
I
be
mean,
like
you
shit
gonna
like
have
that.
a picture somewhere. You can find a picture on Facebook now. Like, what
Listen,
is? You're still not answering my question. What
listen.
is the reason you're keeping them?
It's just memorabilia of your life.
Memorabilia of what?
It's memorabilia of your life. But I do suggest this. I do suggest this. If you do have those old photos and you have those old videos, please take them off your phone, put them on the drive, and put it in a database, and let it just never like don't let it come back.
Well,
because I do think with all these hacks out here and these database and these cloud hacks, I think you do owe the person that sent you those, you owe them the privacy if they shit never getting out. So if you want to be one of those people to keep to keep it, you keep it. It's like porn. It's like porn if you got if you ain't you doing some porn of yourself instead of some shit, some make believe
I'm gonna
shit.
say this. I would feel very offended if my man was keeping videos as a memorabilia and I'm all he should want in that very moment.
If
Because
yo
my point is you don't need me then.
you thinking too much into it, because for one, your man is probably your having a real conversation, both men and women. If he or she loves you, then you will never find out that they got it. First of all, that's you will never find out they got them. Two,
Like, I
come
don't.
on, all they want. You chances are, and this is a deep dive on another level. It's a deep dive on another level. I'm gonna say, uh, chances are you the person you end up with is probably not gonna be your number one. In some most cases, some people do find like they number one person they were sexually compatible with, or the person they found the most attractive. That's who they end up date with. You know what I'm saying? Uh, in a lot of cases, it don't be like that. A lot of cases, the dude that you end up being with, spending your rest of your life with, probably one of the sexiest, probably one of the handsomest, or probably didn't have the best sex game
You just
that
use
you
it as like like
that
a
you
memory,
encountered, huh? That you
just as a
encountered.
memory.
It's just a memory.
This is crazy.
It's a
And the
memory.
only reason why I'm asking this, okay, so I'm gonna just give y'all since I ain't transparent enough. My ex will not he has a video of us and he won't delete it because he says he looks at it he looks at it when he misses me. So
Hell yeah. So I'll be looking. Look,
that's crazy. That is crazy.
I, man, look. I look at it like this, man. I'm not looking at no porn. I don't like watching porn sites, right?
So you rather watch somebody that you've been with when you could turn over and lay with the person that you with?
I mean, if I got the person I'm with, I'm not looking at the old photos and videos and
So
shit.
then that goes back to my point. Why keep it then? If you got the person that you're with, you're not looking at them. What's the point?
Well,
Like
personally,
just delete them.
if you sent me a nude or some shit and of all that shit, the shit probably still in the thread. Like I didn't go save it. I didn't put it in the database. I'm not going back and like
Nigga, but I ain't put him in a database.
probably in the thread. And if I got a girl, I'm not looking through my old thread of my exes and trying to see what they got going on. So that's just me, transparently speaking. So that's you know what I mean. That's going on. But
I ain't mean to get you in trouble if I got you in trouble. I just was wondering, the man of
no, you ain't get me in trouble.
mind of a man.
The man of a man is crazy. You know what I mean. And I also if your girl presses you about that shit, fam, delete it because you don't need that. There's no argument in the world that's valid enough that you could come up with to give pushback to her.
You
That
just said it was a memorabilia, so
yeah,
that just said so
right.
much.
That's just off me. Like that's me
No,
disclosed.
but a lot of men probably think that way. That
You
it's
ain't
just
in.
something to
No,
look
that's
at.
what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. If you're not involved, if my girl ain't pressing me, she don't know about it. It's just me. It's like this is just me by myself. Yeah, I can see keeping it. But if my girl is pressing me about it, like there's nothing logical you can say to be like, this is why I should keep it. Like I don't haven't yet to find the words for that. If somebody got the words for that, let us know in the comments. If your girl is pressing you about that shit, you gotta delete it. You have to delete it. You can't keep it. You have to delete it. So it's just one of those things. Like if it comes up, it's an L. You know what I'm saying? Like what you
So do
gonna
you?
do?
Because like I feel like some men would lie though too and be like, "Nah, I ain't got nothing in my phone."
I mean, if you gonna lie, lie. Like you I started this by saying, if he loves you or she loves you enough, it will never come up. Like you will never see that shit. on their accord. It has to be
Unless
like
you're an asker like me. I'm an asker, so
you
I'm
can
gonna ask
ask, and if
questions.
you can ask, and he loves you enough, he will tell your ass, "No, I don't got that shit, and it ain't in there." Now it's up to you to do the most and go looking.
Yeah, I ain't doing that either. Cause I ain't trying to
Right,
have my feelings hurt. I don't want to see what you did before. Okay.
right. So it's one of them things why we even thinking about it. But now if it comes across,
I
like if,
might ask though. I'm gonna ask. I may not go looking for it, but I'm gonna ask.
if the person loves you enough, you will never see it. You will never see it. Y'all can have a conversation about it, but it's be one of them things like it shouldn't
But
even be that. It shouldn't be that much of a. So you really got bitches in there? If I be like, no, I don't. No, let me see your phone. It's like, all right, now
so
we.
if he
Not,
loves you, he loves you. So Jody was right when he said I lied to you because I care about your feelings.
not in his instance, but sometimes you lie to certain people to protect their feelings. I do agree. I do agree with that statement. Sometimes you don't give somebody 100% of the truth because you want to protect their feelings in that moment. It's like telling your kids that Santa Claus is real. You know what I'm saying? So Jody was just cheating. Like he was nothing he did was right with the women. Like he was just cheating. So, but yeah, nah, like I said, if a man loves you, you would never see it. If she loves you, you will never see it. Like
I agree with that, but I also feel like you should just delete them. What you keeping them for? What you get out of keeping them? Because I know, personally speaking, ain't nothing like I'm not trying to go. I'm trying 9 times out of 10, I probably got a bad memory attached to that person. So why am I gonna keep their their whatever our videos when I don't even like that person no way no more?
if every girl that ever sent me a nude text my phone and be like, "Hey, you know that nude I sent you, delete it," I'm gonna delete it.
That's good.
Like if they say that it's gonna delete it, you can't give pushback to why you want to keep it. Like there's no pushback to how you want to keep it. Like there's no
Right.
response.
No, there absolutely isn't. But
But
I
that's
just
not.
feel like
But
why
that's
keep
not even a. This is a podcast show conversation. Like I don't. You know how deeply insecure and like lame you gotta be to press your mate about that. Like all the shit that y'all could be talking about in the world.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but I still might ask, not in a sense of like, oh, I want to know, like you got to tell me now, but like, would you? I don't know. See,
You
I don't
can't
know.
even think. You can't even think
Honestly,
of. You
no,
can't
because
even
I
think of a
never
real
had that
reason why you want to
conversation.
know. Like what? It
I
doesn't.
never had that. Now that I'm thinking about it, though, I don't think I've ever had that conversation with
Because
anybody
it's
that
not even. It's not one of them things that no, you should even want to give a fuck about. Only how you should care about that type of shit if it's presented in your face.
okay, yeah,
If
I
it's
agree.
if it's presented in your face, then you have a conversation. If not, it's like who gives a shit? I'm with you right now. I'm trying to make movies and news and lick and kiss all the craziness in your body. I don't give no fuck about no other
As long as
shit.
I can keep it as a memorabilia, right?
What I like, no one's you're not your mate. You're not 100% with them, right? It's at least 10 to 5% of shit in your life, a thing that goes on in your head, the things that you do that you keep to yourself.
I feel like the longer you are with the person though, the more stuff that comes out. Eventually you'll know mostly everything about the person that you're with if you're with them long term. But yeah, I guess that's factual in a sense.
Yeah,
You're not gonna dispel every single thing. I know I ain't finna dis
yeah, you're not gonna give everything. People be together 10 years and there still be certain things that they still keeping in the tuck. But you like how you say you're peeling off layers as y'all go and as y'all grow and you learn different things. I might get more comfortable telling you this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
and
like
I feel like there is certain things that you probably shouldn't tell because just off the strength of like why? Like,
certain things you will never like. It's I
you know,
don't even
that
care
insecurity.
if y'all together 70 years. It's gonna be at least. It's still gonna be 10 to 5% of things that you are not exposing. You're not gonna know. Like if you like certain things we just don't want to know and we don't want to think about.
I'm sorry, I don't know, like dating somebody private like you, I feel like you would keep so much from the person that you with that I wouldn't like I couldn't date somebody super private like you because I feel like you wouldn't dispel a lot of shit. just because you don't want to, because that's your personality.
I'm going to anything that's pertaining to you and I. You will have privileged information to.
Anything prior to it's like I don't remember.
Why is you talking to me about
I
another
was just talking about it.
situation? If you telling me if you ask me a simple question, right? So if you're dealing with multiple women, right? If you're dealing with multiple women at a time, if a woman you dealing with asks you like, "Yo, are you having sex with other people?" Right?
That's a conversation you have to
I
have.
have. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have to, I can't be man. What you trying to talk to me about that? No, I have to have this conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? Because now that's something that dealing with you. That's dealing with you.
Mhm.
You
That's
need to know
dealing
like
with
what's
you.
going
Yeah.
on. Right. So yeah, I can't tell now in that same breath. You can't talk about so what type of freaky shit you be doing with old girl. I can't talk to you about no shit that has nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's how time we only can disclose information between you and I. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
So, but that's just my approach to dating. My approach to dating is to focus on what me and you are doing in this present moment. Because when you start thinking about, because we creative people, our headspace and the things that we think about
Yeah.
be all over the fucking place. So
Yeah,
last
because
thing,
you get
when
to.
I'm dating somebody, I don't need my headspace to be all over the place. You're supposed to be
Mhm.
my ground. You're supposed to be my home. You're supposed to be where I want to get to come to get peace.
So, do you feel like men should disclose certain information if they've cheated?
Um,
Should the girl be able to ask whatever she wants if you cheated on her?
I feel like if you cheat on a young lady, you open the gates. If you're in a committed relationship with a woman and you cheat on her, you're pretty much at her mercy for a while, depending on why you cheated. So if she wants that information, how much as it might be paying for you to give that up, you might have to give that up because you broke y'all union, you broke y'all trust, you broke y'all bond, and it's not. And not only did you do that, you wasn't even play enough about it where it never got back to her.
Mm-hmm.
Because for my take from most women understand that if they got a dude that's desirable that women want, or they know man, he can get um they whole thing is they don't want to be embarrassed. A lot of women just don't want to be embarrassed.
Keep it real.
I don't want to be embarrassed. If you outside doing your thing, bitches shouldn't be calling my phone. They shouldn't be commenting on the post. They shouldn't be on the blogs. It should be good. People shouldn't be like at Jody. Prime example. Jody messing with the girl at a job, got people laughing at her. That's why her whole mind was messed up. Like she knew it, she see Baby Boy is a clear example. She said, I knew you were messing with Peanut. I ain't even mad at Peanut. Cause I understand that. That's your baby mom's. I understand that. I ain't even mad
But
at
I
Peanut.
figure she goes, I figured that much. Like, but
Yeah,
then you
she
doing it
ain't
with somebody at my job.
like you embarrassed me. That was a real conversation that people just overlook. Like she wasn't even mad at that he's messing with the baby moms because that never fucked up the house.
Yeah.
But the job, you just messed up my peace of mind. You first of all you cheating, then you just messed up my peace of mind at work. I can't go at home. You embarrassing me. You got people looking at her, talking at her funny. Now I'm the talk of the office.
Right. I'm the laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now
I don't know. It's like it's weird when it comes to cheating though, because I feel like on one hand, like, yeah, let me find out. On the other hand, you better not be doing it.
I don't condone it at all. I think if once you settle down and when you form a union with somebody, um, you should have this.
Or have that conversation and be honest and be like, look, I want to be able to have you. I love you. I want to be with you. I can't see myself only sleeping with you forever. Like that conversation, men, I think a lot of men are scared of it, and there is that like she gonna leave me if that's what I want.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm scared to have that conversation. That's not even the conversation. I feel like I'm sure enough to have it at this age of my life. I don't think I'm that mature in my life to tell her like I love you. I want to be with you. I want to lock in with you. But I still like out old people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even that mature, so that I get what you said. A lot of men, we're not there yet to be like, this is what we're trying to do. So that's tough because when you say I love you and I want to be with you, that's vulnerability. As a man, you come to vulnerability, you saying I love you. Do you really want what you to love to be like, nah, I ain't for me, so you don't not love. And then once you had that conversation, you can't go back. It's going you can't
Yeah,
say you can't,
no.
but it's hard to go back. It's gonna be hard for her to
You
even look at you like, yo, you hers by yourself, because she always gonna think once you outside the shit that you can get into. So that's going that outside shit. You know what I'm saying? All that
I
outside
think
shit.
like, I think you can like if he came back and said, "Look, I love you enough like not to lose you, so I don't want to do that." But there is going to be that I think for me personally that would be a little bit of an insecurity because it's like we committed to each other. Now you coming to me telling me this, like, what's up? Like, you don't what cuz I mean, I guess it also depends on how you view love because people view love differently. Some people view love and say, okay, you gotta let people. Jada P. Smith is a prime example. She's you let I don't own you. You do what you want. If you could look at yourself in it, she said that. You can look at yourself in the mirror and be okay with that. Cool. But like on the other hand, I feel like people love Cody. People love differently. People's views on love is different. People's capacity when it comes to love is different.
Hey, you just can't use Jada for a reference, bro. Oh, like she we ain't on that. We can't use Jada as no reference. But
I'm just saying,
people
in
do love
general,
love
some
differently.
people view relationships as like you're free to do what you want. I can't control you. Then there's other people who view love as like the definition of love is like for them commitment. You both, just you two. So I mean, I don't know. Like you said earlier, it goes back to what's right for your relationship, and
It
you
just
know
goes back to your
that's
relationship.
really what it comes down to.
Because your person and the person that's for you gonna be with the shits, what you with, and it's gonna be so easy. Anytime you find yourself fighting some situations and shit not going smooth, you and that person just don't got chemistry.
Yeah.
Like chemistry, y'all just going it flows.
And even if it's because I think too, like if even if you hit some bumps in the road, there's still the common ground of like we gonna figure this out
Yeah,
together.
it
We're
flows
gonna
like
figure this
water.
out, or we're gonna talk through it. Once you get to a place where like certain foundational shit y'all can't agree on, like there's your personalities may not always mix because we're always changing as people, but your foundation of who you are, those core beliefs, a lot of the times those don't change. So once you start disagreeing on core beliefs, y'all better just separate and find you somebody that believe the same shit you do because
But yeah, like I'm saying though, like chemistry, it flows. Like when y'all got chemistry, when you got chemistry with somebody, it's gonna flow, right? Like it's not gonna be no bumps. It's gonna be bumps, but it's not gonna feel like you pulling teeth to make some shit work. You know what I'm saying? Because chemistry is gonna be like, yo, it just goes. Okay, you like I say, it just be simple knickknacks that certain people don't like, and you have to get accustomed to
yeah.
because I wasn't raised like this. You weren't raised like that. Oh, I don't like this, so I have to adjust because you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Just little shit you got to adjust
And
to.
even within that though, like there is this like, you know what, that's who he is. I I could deal with it. Like, there's that line there. I think when you start going to where it's like neither one of y'all want to compromise or like whatever, just might
Yeah,
as well hang it
much-
up.
yeah,
Find
hang
you
it up.
somebody to work with you.
Y'all arguing over little shit. Like y'all arguing over if you got the news or not, opposed to like saying, "Nigga, you better not have no news." No, baby, you ain't got no news, and start going to watch TV. You know what I'm saying? Like that's simple shit. Like we ain't even finna blow this shit up. Like if you finna investigate journalism, if I got news of other girls on my phone, it's like, gee, why?
I think it also caused unnecessary arguments because it's like at that point, like what are we arguing about? Some shit that happened last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Just you better not have them, and then you go and delete them on your own. I should not have to tell you
Hey,
to
my
delete
take,
them.
and always will be my take, is when I'm getting into a petty argument with a woman I'm seeing. Time is, we don't have that much time on the world. And the time that we have together, this is how you want to spend doing it. Just remember this. This is how you
So,
want.
some
This is
stuff
how
is
you.
worth arguing though, because
This
that
is
sounds
how
like a
you
lot
want to
of
spend
work
our. This is how you want to spend our
reflecting.
time. Well, you want to spend our time about some shit that happened probably before I met you, before I even knew you was a thing. Before this
She said run. Cindy said run. I agree. You run because you sound like a man that don't want to take accountability for anything.
Not it has that not taking accountability. That's like, yo, you really want to talk about this? That's like, I'm from a woman's standpoint. Like certain things that women do, and a man have a problem with it. Like sometimes you got to sit down and tell your man, like, babe, out of all the things we doing in the world, me and you, we could be doing right now. You want to really have a conversation about this? And if you really talk to somebody and be like, yo, and like had it and just really talk to them that basic and that calm and realize like this is what you really want to talk about, you will
I'm gonna
start
calmly
seeing
tell you yes
you
because
will
I
you
feel like
you will really start seeing you will start really seeing the
I
emotional
just feel like
intelligence.
that takes away accountability though. That takes away like you can't in that moment if your girl is really feeling a way about something, that's not fair for you to then be like all the time in the world, this is what you want to talk about. That's bogus.
No, that's not bogus because let's say if you mad at me because I ate some ice cream, right? I ate your ice cream, right? And now you want to go flip because your ice cream gone. You want to get mad. We have an
You're
argument.
comparing nudes to ice cream. Think about
Huh?
what you're doing right now.
Huh? No, I'm just saying though, like, but let's talk about we talking about pettiness, right? So we're talking about you're mad at me about some pettiness shit, right? You just want to be mad at pettiness. Oh, you left this out. Why you leave the food out? Like little shit like that, right? You gonna continue to be mad, right, about this. I get you expressing how you feel, but we don't have to deep dive in this. You can express how you feel and we can move on. Because it's really not that it's not that serious. Why is we going at
I
like
think it depends on the situation, but I also feel like you as her partner need to make her feel secure in those moments where she's feeling insecure.
if you want to sit there and talk to me about ice cream, or if you want to talk to me about some news about somebody that before you, yes, we can sit down and have this conversation. Let's have this conversation. Let's sit down, let's talk. And then I'm gonna talk to you and I'm gonna ask you why to every question that you're asking me. Why do you want to know that? And we're gonna really break it down. When you really break it down, you're gonna start seeing like, damn, this shit is stupid, right?
I agree.
Right.
To an extent, I agree. But you saying that that's such a general statement, like, oh, well, we talk now. If we're on the topic of something like the news, okay, yeah, that might be. But at the same time, it's certain other conversations that need to be had. And you saying stuff like, out of all the things in the world, you want to talk about.
That doesn't apply to a meaningful conversation. That applies to things that has no that applies to you being in your own brain in your own way and you want to make nothing out of something. I mean something out of nothing. And we do it all the time. I used to be the person like women do it all the time, but now I see men doing it all the time too. Like
Yeah.
in these relationships, we make the smallest things into something.
I mean, yeah, we see it. We see it, especially in these podcast talks where men want to know women's body counts and all of this extra stuff. It don't matter.
Why is that even a thing?
Right.
Like why? You want me to go? You want to know my body count? Now, a better question to approach that is, all right. Well, I really don't care who you slept with, baby, but like, is there anybody
That I
that I
know.
might that I
Yeah.
know or might come across that might, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I have feelings too that might make me feel some type of way or that might hurt my pride. Or these are real adult conversations that we gotta have.
So what my question is if she does know some she did sleep with somebody that you know, how do you love her? So do you leave?
Um, I don't think that's something I can say on the show because I don't think I've really experienced that. Okay, I have experienced that, and no, I didn't. I didn't leave. Nope,
Okay.
I didn't leave. So no.
Shout out to
But,
you.
but
That's very grown up though, because some men will be like, I'm out. Like this is hurting my, like you said, I got pride, I got ego.
but
You
that's
might
but
be,
that
you know what?
but that's that man or woman is not wrong for leaving the situation. That's just what they can't deal with. Like we got to stop. Sometimes, and that's another thing with relationships too. That's why this should be so downhill because the accountability just don't be. We never take accountability to the fact that this shit just don't work out,
Yeah. I
or
said
we
that
or
recently to
we just
somebody.
not.
Like, this is not
We might
flowing.
just
Like
not
it's
be for each other.
okay.
We might
It's
not be
okay.
for each other. Yeah, it's okay for us not to
Yeah.
be for each other.
It's okay to, if something is not flowing, it is absolutely okay to be like, look, we had our time. It's not flowing. It don't gotta be this big old dramatic thing. Like, I don't agree with what you agree with, and we see things differently. Let's move around. Find somebody that we do agree with or it does work with.
That'd be like when they be like, "Oh yeah, you ghosted me," or "She ghosted me," or they never answer the phone. It'd be like, "Yo," I'd be like, "Well, shit, we was texting or whatever we talking, and then the conversation ain't lead nowhere. We didn't have to have this big ass grand like, yo, well, you're texting me, texting, it's not going anywhere, so we're gonna quit
Nah,
texting."
you don't ghost people though. Now, like I don't agree with that. I feel like you should tell a person, like, if you're not feeling them, just let them know. Like, yo, I don't think this is working out. I'm the queen of letting. I'm the queen of letting somebody know it ain't working out for me. I just feel like it's just common courtesy, because then you have people feeling like, well, dang, why did they ghost me? What happened? What is it? Something I said? Some people are not self aware enough to know.
So I
Okay,
guess
maybe
it's a difference between you actually dealing with somebody intensively and then y'all just quit talking, opposed to you just starting to talk to somebody and don't go nowhere. If
I
you
still feel like you should tell. You should just let them know, like, hey, you know what? I don't think it's gonna work. I don't like you like that. I don't like you like that. It's cool. It's not.
let's agree to this. I agree. I don't know. I don't think that like if it don't work out or if you can just
But you can't. You don't know how they feel. Maybe they, off of the conversations that they had with you, they really liked you.
well
Just because you don't view it that.
if you peep them, if you get around them or if y'all have a conversation again, then y'all have a mature conversation about it. But I don't think you should have a exit press release because you ain't trying to be with nobody no more, or you don't want to. You not trying to sit there and text nobody no more. Like you just peep energy. Like the energy ain't there. You ain't responding. We still ain't got up. We ain't hung out. It's like, all right, cool. It's like we ain't. It's just not going nowhere.
I like to tell people, but that's me. I don't know if that's toxic or not, but I like to tell people
No,
that I don't like.
it's just the way you like to deal with things, But this I think this is a great
It
conversation.
was funny. It was very toxic. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you know what? I don't like to use the word toxic. I'm gonna just say problematic. It's very problematic. You know what I mean? But on my 27 years on this earth of dating, it's been working good for me.
Well, I'm gonna just
All
keep
right.
my mouth shut when it comes to that.
So we gonna close out today, man. What you been listening to, Jay?
I heard the Lola Brooke album. It was okay. I wasn't too crazy about it. Heard Chris Brown's album. What have you been listening to?
Uh, I started that. I've been working with that Jeezy. I listened to that new Ross and Meek. It's not
I
really
heard that album was really good. It's not?
what Ross and Meek.
Yeah.
Shit's terrible. It's definitely terrible. It's got like it only got one song I go back to, and that's the that song with him and Fab and Vory. Them Fab and Vory. Um, Dead Last. That shit go hard. You don't got no replay value. What else I've been listening to? That's pretty much it. I've been pretty much ain't really no new music come out. Music is ass. 2023 released a lot of ass music. So
I need the charger.
I will say that Tory Lane's coming out with a new album. Well, it's a deluxe version, and I can't wait to hear it.
you love you some Tory Lanez.
No, Alone at Prime just surpassed 1 billion streams on Spotify. Like that's people don't give him his flowers, but musically he's doing it still.
I ain't gonna lie, that song, yeah, that's my thought. But I like her a lot. That's my shit.
That's my song too.
I'll be there cleaning up so that shit hit my two step. That's my shit. But if y'all got some music at home and y'all want us to check out, make sure y'all submit y'all music to What's the Buzz. We go live every Tuesday. Shout out to Illinois Media School. Sign up to the Illinois Media School if you want to learn how to be an industry professional, learn how to the ins and outs of how to do this this here entertainment media thing. You never know. You could be a guest host and you could be one of the top journalists in the city, like our very own Jayy Marie, who is an alumni of Illinois Media School.
Sure am.
So make sure y'all sign up, one of our proud sponsors of what we got going on in here. And I don't know, man. Good talk, man. Jay, you got anything else you want to say? Or we can just Black Friday, Black Wednesday. I keep saying Friday. Black Wednesday, get y'all tickets November 22nd. On Eventbrite, not Eventbrite, Event Noir, or what's the word.tv. Link in our bio on Instagram and it's on our website. Just go ahead and cop those tickets. And that's in there for announcements.
Y'all have a blessed week.
Y'all have a blessed week, man. And make sure y'all tap in with us. We love y'all. Happy holidays.